The ship moved slowly through the dark space. Captain Park, Jinho stood at the window of the UES horizon and watched the massive station grow bigger as they came closer. Velar Prime, the center of the Galactic Assembly. 412 species worked together here. They made laws. They decided the future of the galaxy. And today, humanity was asked to join them. Jinho was 43 years old. He had gray hair at his temples and calm eyes that had seen many battles. But he had never felt nervous like this before. This was not a fight. This was something harder. This was politics. The door behind him opened. Ambassador Kim Yuno walked in. She wore a formal black suit, and her dark hair was tied back neatly. She carried a tablet with all the documents they needed. "We dock in 10 minutes, she said. "Are you ready, Captain?" Jinho turned to face her. "I have commanded ships in 3 wars. I have lost friends. I have made hard choices. But standing in front of aliens who think we are insects, that will be new." Yuna smiled a little. "They do not think we are insects. They think we are children, young, weak, not worth their time. Is that better?" "No," she said. "But we will change their minds." The Horizon docked at the station. The airlock opened and Jinho led his crew into the massive hall beyond. The ceiling was so high he could not see the top. Lights floated in the air like tiny stars. Aliens of all shapes walked past them. Some had scales. Some had fur. Some looked like nothing Jinho had ever imagined. A tall creature approached them. It had blue skin and 4 arms. Its eyes were large and golden. This was Torim, a Velan delegate. The Velans were one of the oldest species in the Assembly. They had traveled the stars for 50,000 years. "You are the humans," Torim said. His voice was smooth but cold. "Welcome to Velar Prime. The Assembly will hear your request tomorrow. Today, I will show you around." Jinho bowed his head slightly. "Thank you. We are honored." Torim made a sound that might have been a laugh. "Honored, yes, come." They walked through the station. Torim showed them the council chambers, the living areas, the gardens that held plants from 100 worlds. But his words always carried a sharp edge. He spoke to them like a teacher speaks to very young students. Every sentence reminded them that humanity was new. Humanity was small. Humanity did not matter. They stopped at a window that looked out at the docking bay. Hundreds of ships floated there. Velan cruisers with curved hulls that glowed with energy. Korath warships covered in spikes and armor. And there, small and gray among the giants, sat the Horizon. "That is your vessel," Torim said. He looked at it with something like pity. "It is simple. It serves us well," Jinho said. "I am sure it does. Tell me, Captain, what weapons does it carry?" Jinho knew this question would come. He had prepared for it. "We have point defense systems, missile launchers, and our main gun, a magnetic acceleration cannon." Torim's golden eyes blinked. "Magnetic acceleration? You mean you throw metal at your enemies?" "Yes, like a rock. Like a very fast rock." Torim laughed. This time, it was a real laugh, loud and long. Other aliens nearby turned to look. Some of them laughed too. "The humans throw rocks," Torim said to them. "They have joined the stars and they still throw rocks." Jinho felt his crew tense behind him. Lieutenant Beak Suji, his weapons officer, took a step forward. Her face was red with anger. Jinho raised his hand slightly. She stopped. "Our weapons work," Jinho said calmly. "That is what matters." Torim shook his head. "Captain, the galaxy moved past kinetic weapons 10,000 years ago. We use plasma, graviton beams, dark energy pulses. Your metal slugs cannot even scratch our shields. They are designed to stop energy. But mass? Mass is nothing. Your weapons are museum pieces. Eunice spoke up. Her voice was steady. Perhaps. But we did not come here to fight. We came to join. To learn. To grow. Tareem looked at her for a long moment. Then he nodded. A wise answer, Ambassador. Perhaps there is hope for your species yet. Come, I will show you your quarters. That night, Jinho sat alone in his room. The station was quiet. Through the window, he could see the stars. So many stars. So many worlds. And on each one, species who thought humans were nothing. His tablet beeped. A message from Suji. Sir, I wanted to apologize for almost losing my temper today. Jinho typed back. No need. I wanted to hit him too. Do you think they will accept us? They will give us provisional membership. They think we are too weak to matter. They will let us sit in the corner and watch. That makes me angry. Jinho smiled at the screen. Good. Remember that anger. One day, we will show them what humans can do. One day, they will understand. Understand what, sir? Jinho looked out at the stars. He thought about Earth, about the long history of his people, about every war, every struggle, every moment when someone said humans could not win. And then humans won anyway. They will understand, he typed slowly, that we have been throwing rocks for 200,000 years. And we have gotten very, very good at it. He put down the tablet and closed his eyes. Tomorrow, humanity would join the galaxy. They would smile and bow and accept whatever scraps the assembly offered. But Jinho knew the truth. This was not the end. This was the beginning. And one day, the galaxy would shake. 6 months passed. Humanity sat quietly in the Galactic Assembly. They watched. They listened. They learned. And they waited. Commander Lee Hana did not like waiting. She stood on the bridge of Sentinel-7, a defense station at the edge of human space. Her job was simple. Watch the border. Report any problems. Do not start fights. It was boring work. Hannah was 36 years old. She had short black hair and sharp eyes that missed nothing. She had joined the military to protect people, not to sit and stare at empty space. But space was not empty today. Commander, said her sensor officer, Ensign O Taiyang. I am picking up multiple signals. Sector 4, moving fast. Hannah walked to his station. The screen showed dozens of small dots. They were heading toward human space. Ships? She asked. Yes, but they are not military. They are civilian. Transport ships. Cargo haulers. Taiyang looked up at her. Commander, they are running from something. Hannah felt cold. Show me what is behind them. Taiyang adjusted the sensors. The screen changed. Behind the civilian ships, there was a wall of red dots. Military signatures. 40 warships in attack formation. Korath. Taiyang whispered. The Korath Dominion. Hannah knew them from the reports. Reptilian species, aggressive, powerful. They have started a war 3 weeks ago. They attacked neutral colonies near human space. The Galactic Assembly debated and argued, but did nothing. No one wanted to fight the Korath, and now the Korath were coming here. Hannah opened a channel to the civilian ships. This is Commander Lee Hana of the United Earth Forces. Identify yourselves. A tired voice answered. It spoke broken Galactic Standard. We are refugees. Please. The Korath destroyed our homes. They killed everyone. We ran. Please help us. How many ships do you have? 12. 3,000 people. Many children. Please. They are right behind us. Hannah closed her eyes for 1 second. Then she opened them. All ships, proceed to these coordinates. We will protect you. She turned to her communications officer. Contact Earth Command. Tell them what is happening. And call the Talon. Tell Lieutenant Choi Minho to bring his ship here now. Yes, Commander. The next hour was tense. The refugee ships entered human space. They were old and damaged. Some of them barely worked. Hana watched them pass the station and head towards safety. Then the Korath fleet arrived. 40 warships stopped at the edge of human space. They were huge. Each one was covered with spikes and heavy armor. Their hulls were dark red, like dried blood. Plasma cannons glowed along their sides. The human defense flotilla had 4 ships. The Talon, the Arrow, the Shield, and the Spear. 4 small destroyers against 40 giants. A message came through. The Korath commander appeared on screen. His name was Drell. He had gray scales and yellow eyes. His teeth were sharp and his voice was harsh. Human commander, Drell said, you are hiding our prey. The refugees belong to us. They ran from Korath justice. Return them now. Hana stood straight. They are in human territory. They asked for protection. We gave it. Drell laughed. It was an ugly sound. You gave it? You are nothing. Your species is new and weak. The assembly does not even protect you. You have no allies. No power. Step aside or we will destroy you with the refugees. Hana looked at the screen. She thought about her orders. Do not engage. Do not start fights. Earth Command had been clear, but she also thought about the 3,000 people behind her. The children. The families who had already lost everything. Commander, Taiyang said quietly. Earth Command is responding. They say we should not engage. They say we should let the Korath pass. The bridge went silent. Everyone looked at Hana. She thought about Park Jin-ho. She had met him once, years ago. He told her something she never forgot. Orders are important, but some things are more important. When the moment comes, you will know. This was the moment. Ignore that order, Hana said. Commander? I said ignore it. She looked at her crew. They were young, scared, but they trusted her. We did not join the stars to run away. We did not build ships to watch innocent people die. Today, we fight. She opened a channel to all human ships. All vessels. This is Commander Lee Hana. Form defensive line. Charge all weapons. Prepare for combat. Then she broadcast on all frequencies. Her voice was calm and clear. Korath Fleet, this is the United Earth Forces. You have entered sovereign human territory. Leave now or face consequences. Drell's face twisted with anger and amusement. Consequences from you? Your ships are toys. Your weapons are jokes. I will enjoy breaking you. He ended the transmission. The Korath fleet began to move forward. Hana watched them come. 40 ships. Thousands of plasma cannons. Against her 4 small destroyers. She opened a private channel to the Talon. Minho, are you ready? Lieutenant Choi Minho's voice came back steady. Ready, Commander. Railgun charged and loaded, targeting their flagship. When I give the word, you fire. 1 shot. Make it count. Understood. Hana took a deep breath. The Korath fleet was getting closer. 10,000 kilometers. 8,000. 5,000. Drell thought this would be easy. He thought humans were weak children playing with old toys. He had never seen what those toys could do. Hana smiled. Minho, she said. Fire. The railgun fired. There was no loud explosion. No bright flash. Just a soft hum as the magnetic coils activated. Then the slug was gone. Lieutenant Choi Minho watched his screen. The tungsten projectile was 2 meters long and weighed 500 kilograms. It was just a piece of metal. Simple, plain, nothing special to look at. But it was moving at 8% the speed of light. The Korath flagship was 5,000 kilometers away. The slug crossed that distance in less than 1 second. The shields around the flagship glowed bright. They were designed to stop plasma, to absorb energy, to protect against beams and explosions. They were not designed for this. The slug hit the shields and passed through them like they were not there. Energy weapons push. They heat. They burn. But a solid object moving at that speed does something different. It carries momentum. Pure, unstoppable momentum. The slug entered the front of the flagship and exited through the back. For one moment, nothing happened. The ship just floated there. Then the kinetic energy transferred. 3 kilometers of warship twisted and broke apart. Metal bent. Armor cracked. The entire vessel came apart in a silent explosion of debris and fire. Commander Drell died without understanding what killed him. On the bridge of Sentinel-7, Commander Lee Hanna stared at her screen. Where the Korath flagship had been, there was now only a cloud of glowing fragments. "One shot," Ensign Taiyang whispered. "One shot." Hanna did not celebrate. "All ships fire at will." The Talon fired again. The arrow fired. The shield and the spear fired. 12 railguns spoke together. 12 tungsten slugs flew across the void. 12 Korath warships died. The remaining ships stopped moving. Their formation broke apart. They had come here expecting an easy victory. They had expected to crush weak humans with primitive weapons. Instead, they watched half their fleet vanish in seconds. A new voice came over the radio. A Korath officer, not Drell. His voice was shaking. "What? What is this? What weapon is this?" Hanna did not answer. She watched as chaos spread through the Korath fleet. Some ships tried to raise their shields higher. It did not matter. Shields stopped energy, not mass. Other ships tried to run. The human destroyers chased them and fired again. Every shot was a kill. Lieutenant Beak Suji stood at her weapon station on the Talon. Her hands moved across the controls, selecting targets, calculating trajectories. She had trained for years to use this weapon. But training was different from reality. In training, targets were just numbers on a screen. Now they were real ships with real crews. She fired again. Another Korath cruiser broke apart. "They cannot stop us," she said quietly. "Their shields do nothing." Minho nodded. He was sweating. His heart was pounding. But his hands were steady. The galaxy forgot about physics. They thought energy was everything. They never imagined someone would throw a rock really, really fast. The battle lasted 8 minutes. When it was over, 27 Korath ships were destroyed. The rest fled into deep space, their engines burning hot as they ran away. They left behind a field of debris that stretched for thousands of kilometers. Hanna sat down in her chair. Her legs felt weak. She had just started a war. She had disobeyed orders. She had killed thousands of Korath soldiers, but she had saved 3,000 innocent lives. "Commander," Taiyang said, "the refugee ships are safe. They are asking to speak with you. Put them through." The tired voice from before came through the speakers, but now it was crying. "Thank you. Thank you. We watched from our ships. We saw what you did. No one has ever fought for us before. No one." Hanna closed her eyes. "You are safe now. That is what matters. The galaxy will hear about this. Everyone will know what humans did today." The channel closed. Hanna opened her eyes and looked at her crew. They were staring at her, waiting. "What happens now?" Taiyang asked. "Earth Command told us not to fight. We disobeyed." Hanna thought about it. She had broken rules. She might face punishment. Her career might be over. But then she thought about those children on the refugee ships. Those families who would live because she made a choice. "I do not know what happens next," she said honestly. "Maybe they will court-martial me. Maybe they will give me a medal. But I know one thing. I would make the same choice again. On the Talon, Suji stared out the window at the debris field. Pieces of Karath ships floated in the darkness. Twisted metal. Broken dreams. They did not know, she said softly. They had no idea what we could do. Minho stood beside her. No one knew. The whole galaxy thinks kinetic weapons are primitive, old, useless. They were wrong. Yes, and now everyone will find out. Suji turned to look at him. Is that good or bad? Minho did not answer for a long moment. He watched a piece of debris spin slowly past the window. It was part of a Korath hull. Symbols were painted on it. Maybe a name, maybe a motto. Now it was just junk. I do not know, he finally said, but I know this. The galaxy will never laugh at us again. Somewhere far away on Vela Prime, sensors picked up the battle. Reports started flowing in. A single human flotilla had destroyed a Korath war fleet. 4 ships against 40. And they had 1. The news spread like fire. Every species heard it. Every council member discussed it. Every military leader studied the data. Humans threw rocks. And those rocks shattered worlds. The Great Hall of the Galactic Assembly was full. Representatives from hundreds of species sat in their seats. They talked in low voices. They pointed at screens showing data from the battle. They stared at the human delegation with new eyes. Admiral Yoon Daewon stood at the center podium. He was 60 years old with a face like carved stone. He had fought in wars most of these aliens could not imagine. Now he faced the hardest battle of his life. He had to explain humanity to the galaxy. Torin, the Velen delegate who had laughed at human weapons 6 months ago, spoke first. His voice was not smooth anymore. It was sharp with fear. How did you do this? Your weapons are kinetic. Simple mass accelerators. Our shields are designed to stop them. Every shield in the galaxy is designed to stop kinetic impacts. It is basic physics. Daewon looked at him calmly. No, your shields are designed to stop energy, plasma, lasers, particle beams. You absorb the power and spread it across your hull. Very effective against those weapons. Then how did your slugs pass through? Because our slugs do not carry energy. They carry momentum. The hall went quiet. Daewon continued. Your shields try to absorb heat. But our projectiles do not burn. They punch. A 500-kilogram slug moving at 8% of light speed carries more kinetic force than any weapon in your fleets. Your shields let it through because they do not recognize it as a threat. By the time the slug touches your hull, it is already too late. A Korath diplomat stood up. His scales were pale and his eyes were angry. This is a trick. Some kind of cheat. No civilized species uses kinetic weapons. They are primitive, inefficient. Daewon smiled. It was not a friendly smile. You are right. Kinetic weapons are primitive. Humans threw rocks at each other before we had language. We put sharp stones on sticks and called them spears. We bent wood and string and made bows. We mixed chemicals and invented guns. For 200,000 years, we found ways to make objects fly faster and hit harder. He paused and looked around the hall. You evolved past kinetics. You discovered plasma and graviton beams and dark energy. You decided that energy was the future and mass was the past. You stopped developing kinetic technology. We did not stop, Daewon said, his voice growing stronger. We kept going. We took our primitive rocks and we made them better, faster, stronger. We built magnetic accelerators that can launch a slug at a fraction of light speed. We created weapons that use pure physics. Simple physics. Mass times velocity. Nothing fancy. Nothing clever. Just the basic truth that a heavy object moving fast enough will destroy anything. Torim sat down slowly. His 4 hands were trembling. You built your entire military around kinetics, he said. while we abandoned them. Yes. You never developed energy weapons? We studied them. We decided they were inefficient. Too much power required. Too easy to block. Our railguns use less energy and cause more damage. Simple math. Another delegate spoke up. This one was a Florian, a tall plant-like being with leaves instead of hair. But why? Why did humans continue on this path when every other species moved to energy? Daewon thought about the question. He thought about Earth, about human history, about all the wars and struggles that shaped his people. Because we are afraid, he said. The hall stirred with surprise. Humans evolved on a dangerous world, Daewon explained. Everything wanted to kill us. Animals, weather, disease, other humans. We survived by fighting, by never giving up, by always finding better ways to hurt things before they could hurt us. He took a breath. The galaxy is peaceful. Your species have known safety for thousands of years. You fight wars with rules and limits. You developed weapons that are elegant and advanced. But humans never felt safe. We always expected the next attack, the next enemy, the next threat. So we kept our weapons simple, reliable, brutal. Because when you are afraid, you do not want something fancy. You want something that works. Every time. No matter what. The hall was completely silent now. You asked how we destroyed the Korath fleet, Daewon said. The answer is simple. We threw rocks at them. We have been throwing rocks for 200,000 years. And we have gotten very, very good at it. He turned to look directly at the Korath diplomat. Your dominion attacked innocent colonies. You killed millions. You thought no one would stop you because no one was strong enough. You were wrong. The diplomat said nothing. His scales had gone from pale to gray. The United Earth forces do not want war, Daewon continued. We want peace. We want to trade and learn and grow with the rest of the galaxy. But we will not watch innocent people die. We will not step aside while empires crush the weak. He raised his voice. If you threaten humanity, we will answer. If you attack our friends, we will respond. Our weapons are primitive. Our ships are small. But our rocks fly fast. And they do not miss. Daewon stepped back from the podium. The Korath Dominion sued for peace 3 days later. They agreed to pay damages to the colonies they attacked. They returned all conquered territory. They promised to never threaten human space again. The Galactic Assembly voted unanimously to grant humanity full membership. They also offered military alliance protections. The same protections they had refused 6 months ago. Ambassador Kim Yuna accepted on behalf of Earth. She smiled politely and thanked them for their kindness. But everyone in that hall knew the truth. Humanity had not been given anything. Humanity had taken it. With a weapon made of magnets and metal. With physics so simple a child could understand it. The galaxy had learned a lesson that day. Never underestimate the species that throws rocks. Because sometimes rocks are enough. 1 year had passed since the Battle of Sector 7. The galaxy was different now. Humans were different now. Lieutenant Commander Sio Nari walked through the construction yard above Earth. Around her, thousands of workers moved like ants. Robots carried massive pieces of metal. Engineers shouted commands. Sparks flew from welding stations. And at the center of it all, a ship was being born. The UES Unity. She was 3 kilometers long. Her hull was sleek and gray, covered with armor plates that could stop anything short of a nuclear blast. 16 railgun batteries lined her sides. And in her center, hidden beneath layers of protection, sat something new. Something that made Nari's hand shake when she thought about it. The mass driver. She had seen the test reports. The mass driver could launch a projectile at 15% of light speed, almost twice as fast as the standard railguns. A single shot could crack a moon. 2 shots could break a planet. Humanity had built a weapon that could kill worlds. Nari was 32 years old. She had grown up during the quiet years when humans were just starting to explore the stars. She remembered watching the news when humanity joined the assembly. She remembered laughing at the aliens who called them primitive. She did not laugh anymore. Commander CO. Nari turned. A young ensign stood behind her, holding a tablet. Admiral Park is here. He wants to see you. Send him to the observation deck. I will meet him there. The observation deck was a wide room with windows that looked out at the shipyard. Nari arrived first and stood watching the Unity take shape. A few minutes later, the door opened and Admiral Park Jin-ho walked in. He looked older than she remembered. His hair was fully gray now. His face had more lines. But his eyes were the same. Calm, patient, dangerous. Commander CO, he said. The Unity looks impressive. She will be ready in 3 months. The crew is already training. Good. Jin-ho walked to the window and stood beside her. I remember when the Horizon was the best ship we had. Now she sits in a museum. Things change fast. Nari nodded. She wanted to say something, but the words stuck in her throat. Jin-ho seemed to notice. Something on your mind, Commander? She took a breath. Permission to speak freely, sir? Always. The galaxy fears us now. I see it in the diplomatic reports. Species that used to ignore us now send ambassadors every week. They offer trade deals, technology, alliances, but their eyes are afraid. Jin-ho said nothing. He waited for her to continue. I joined the fleet to explore, Nari said. To meet new species. To learn about the universe. But now they look at us like we are monsters. Like we might destroy them at any moment. Is that what we wanted? Jin-ho was quiet for a long time. The sounds of construction filled the silence. Metal clanging. Machines humming. A ship being built to kill. Do you know why I became a captain? He finally asked. No, sir. My grandmother told me stories when I was young. Stories about our ancestors. About all the times humanity faced extinction. Ice ages, plagues, wars. Every generation thought the end was coming. And every generation survived. He turned to look at her. We survived because we were afraid. Fear made us prepare. Fear made us fight. Fear kept us alive when softer species would have died. But we were not fighting for survival anymore, Nari said. We are safe. We have allies. We have peace. Do we? Jin-ho shook his head slowly. The Korath sued for peace because they were afraid of our weapons. The assembly gave us protections because they were afraid of what we might do without them. This peace is built on fear, Commander. And fear does not last forever. He pointed at the Unity. Right now, engineers on a dozen worlds are studying our railguns. They are trying to copy them. They are building shields that might stop kinetic weapons. The Velans. The Korath. Others we have not even met yet. They are all racing to catch up. And when they do? Jin-ho smiled. It was the same smile he had worn when Tareem laughed at the Horizon. Quiet, patient, knowing. Then we show them what else we have been building. Nari stared at him. There is more? Beyond the mass driver? There is always more. Humans do not stop improving. We do not stop preparing. We do not stop being afraid. He put his hand on her shoulder. That fear you feel, Commander, that worry about what we have become, keep it. Let it guide you. It will make you careful. It will make you wise. And if someone attacks us anyway, despite our weapons, despite our fear, Jin-ho's smile faded. His eyes went cold. Then we do what humans have always done. We fight. We win. And we make sure no one ever attacks us again. He walked toward the door. Then he stopped and looked back. The galaxy shook when we fired that first railgun, Commander. One day, they will understand that was just the beginning. Humans have been at war with the universe since we first stood upright. We have fought ice and fire and each other. We have survived everything. His voice dropped low. The galaxy thinks they know what humans can do. They have no idea. And maybe that is for the best. Let them wonder. Let them guess. Let them fear the things they cannot see. He opened the door. Because the moment they stop fearing us, Commander, is the moment they might decide to test us. And I promise you, they would not like what happens next. The door closed behind him. Nari stood alone on the observation deck. Outside, the Unity grew larger with every passing hour. A ship built to protect. A ship built to destroy. A ship that carried humanity's message to the stars. We are here. We are watching. And we throw rocks. She thought about her grandmother. About all the stories of survival. About all the times humanity should have died, but refused to give up. The galaxy was afraid of them now. Maybe that was sad. Maybe that was wrong, but it was also safe. Nari watched the workers build their weapon. She thought about the future. About the enemies that would come. About the wars that might be fought. Humanity had shaken the galaxy with a single blast. Now the galaxy would learn to live with the tremors. They would adapt. They would change. And maybe, in time, they would stop being afraid. Or maybe they would not. Either way, humanity would be ready, because that was what humans did. They prepared. They waited. They survived. And when the moment came, they threw rocks. Very, very fast rocks.